Hey, sixth grade social studies students. It's Mr. Thompson, your sixth grade assistant principal here, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the history of China. And I'm excited to read to you today. We're going to start with Emperor Qin or Qin, I would think Qin, born in 259 BC. Jing united the different kingdoms of China by 221 BC. He became the first emperor of a united China and called himself Emperor Qin Shi Huang. He was also called Qi In. He made everyone use the same writing system, money, weights, and measures. He had roads built to connect the different kingdoms and erected beautiful palaces in the capital of Xi'an. The name China comes from Qin In. Emperor Qin didn't like scholars and their books. He thought education for the common people took time away from growing crops. He buried some scholars alive and sent hundreds of scholars to work creating the Great Wall of China. Qin also ordered the scholars' books to be burned, except those about medicine and farming. He didn't like the teachings of Confucius and ordered his writing burned too. Emperor Qin's law required people to spy on one another. Because of his cruel rule, Qin lived in fear that some people would harm him. It is said that he rarely slept in the same place 2 nights in a row. He sent stand-ins who resembled him to meetings where his life could be at risk. Thousands of workers toiled for 11 years to build his royal tomb. He died in 210 BC after drinking a potion he thought would give him eternal life. One of the most famous historic structures in China is the Great Wall. Around the year 220 BC, Emperor Qin began the huge undertaking of connecting the many different walls of China, some dating back to 400 BC. Built entirely by hand, the Great Wall snakes up mountain ranges, down into valleys, and across deserts of northern China. The Great Wall is the longest structure ever built. It stretches close to 4,300 miles long. It reaches about 25 feet high and is 15 to 30 feet wide. The wall was built as a defense against invaders. Today, the wall can't keep outsiders from entering China, but long ago it worked well. In addition to a defense against invaders, the wall provided a way to transport men and supplies throughout the Chinese Empire. Fires were the communication between watchtowers of the wall at night. In daytime, the watchmen used smoke signals. It is said that the amount of dirt and stone used constructing the wall could circle the earth with an 8-foot high wall. That's crazy. The terracotta soldiers. Found in 1974 by local people digging wells, the terracotta army of Emperor Qin is truly amazing. Nearly 8,000 lifelike soldiers have been found, as have hundreds of life-size horses. No two soldiers are alike. They all have different facial expressions and hairstyles. Made of terracotta clay, the lower part of the figures' bodies are solid and the upper bodies are hollow. Archaeologists have also unearthed wooden chariots and weapons. The terracotta army guards the tomb of Qin Shi Huang near Xi'an. The tomb is a popular tourist attraction in China. The Silk Road. The Silk Road was the name for the network of trade routes between China and lands to the west in ancient times. Merchants gave items like silk and spices to nomadic people to trade during their travels. Monks, missionaries, and even soldiers traded with people of India, Persia, Arabia, North Africa, and even Europe. The trek was dangerous because of bandits, harsh climates, and rough terrain. Eventually, Chinese goods found their way to cities as far away as Rome. Goods from the Western lands found their way to China too, but goods weren't the only things traded on the Silk Road. When the people traded, they also shared their culture with each other. The Chinese writing. Turtle shells and ox bones helped archaeologists learn about ancient Chinese writing. In ancient times, people wrote fortunes on turtle shells and ox bones and then threw them into a fire. The fire made cracks in the shell or bone. A diviner A person trained to read the cracks revealed whether the fortune would come true. These turtle shell and oxbone writings date back over 3,500 years. The pictures don't stand for letters or sounds, but whole words, which makes learning Chinese very difficult. In fact, you need to know about 2,500 Chinese characters in order to read a textbook. To help more people learn to read and write, a new system called Pinyin is being taught. Pinyin uses the Roman alphabet. The Forbidden City. The Forbidden City was home to several emperors of the Ming and Qing Chinese dynasties. Work on the city began in 1406 and continued for 14 years. Millions of workers labored to build the palace that 24 emperors would call home. When the Forbidden City was completed, a 26-foot wall and a 20-foot moat kept people out. For 500 years, most people were forbidden to enter. That's how the city got its name. With 9,000 rooms and 800 buildings, it is the world's largest palace complex. In 1949, the Forbidden City in Beijing was opened to all citizens of China and is now a museum. Sixth grade social studies students, it's been a pleasure reading to you and learning alongside of you about the history of ancient China. Hope to read to you again.